Welcome, boils and ghouls, to the Cryptique Podcast. My name's Kenny, and I'm here with my co-host Godden, and together we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. And today we're joined by a good friend of ours, Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Kenny.
Oh.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Doing really well. I'm so glad to have Daniel join us for our season finale of season 4. Godden, how are you, by the way?
I'm doing good. I'm glad Daniel's with us. Oh, finally got Daniel. It's been so long.
Daniel is a really good friend of ours, and we've been meaning to have him on the podcast in a while. But, sometimes schedules conflict, and it's just hard to get people on. It is always nice to have a nice guest on every once in a while to hang out with us. So, Daniel, glad you're with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad we got the timing worked out finally.
Me too. So now, before we dive in, Daniel, I have a few questions to ask you before we dive in so our viewers can get to know you. But before we do that, we have some special announcements to make. Cryptique just enjoyed its 1-year anniversary. Last Monday, you all got treated to our commentaries. Godden, they finally got to see our hard work on our commentaries that we worked so hard on for all through the house and collection completed.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Honestly, it was a lot of fun to make. I kind of want to make more of those commentaries, but I want to see if that's something we want to keep doing, or maybe we just keep doing our traditional setup. But it was fun to do, so I hope people liked it, honestly.
Yeah, no, they were a lot of fun to make. And yeah, I don't know if it's something that we're going to continue doing. Unfortunately, this episode's coming out before we're recording this before those episodes air. So we don't have any feedback on them yet. I'm assuming you like them. I hope you liked them. We definitely enjoyed making them. They were a lot of fun. But yeah, happy anniversary, Cryptique. With that out of the way, we're getting ready to dive into this episode. We are here to talk about season 4, episode 14, Curiosity Killed. Like we said, it's the season finale of season 4, and it aired on September 16th, 1992, and it comes to us from the comic Tales from the Crypt. But before we get into that, I'd like to give you, Daniel, an opportunity to introduce yourself and talk about your origin story. So either your introduction to horror in general or your introduction to Tales from the Crypt more specifically. It's up to you. Daniel, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and I wasn't really a huge horror fan growing up or anything, but I've been around the block a little bit and seen some of the more popular stuff. I don't know when the first time I saw Tales of the Crypt was, but I do remember seeing it at some point, probably in my childhood. But I don't think I had any particular episodes that I remembered or anything, but it is a familiar thing. At least like the intro ghoul guy, that whole shtick that they do, I definitely remember seeing that. I was aware of that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch a lot of horror until college, when I saw stuff like the Conjuring movies and The Ring, Insidious, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the mid 2000s era of horror, sounds like.
That era.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about the slashers? You watch much slashers, like the Jasons and the Michael Myers? And
No, I haven't seen any of those. The only kind of old horror I've seen is the Evil Dead movies.
Those are good. And in fact, if you enjoy the Evil Dead, I've got I'm trying to get through all the Evil Dead movies before the new Evil Dead Burn comes out. Oh. And so far, if you go to my other channel, Too Bad About Kenny, you can watch my review of the original Evil Dead, and soon will be also the Evil Dead 2, and then eventually Army of Darkness, and I'll get through all of those. Oh. Anyway, not to make it all about me. So you're, it's interesting that you didn't really grow up on horror, but even you knew about the Crypt Keeper. You called him the cool guy.
Yeah, the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
The Crypt Keeper.
But it's interesting, even somebody who's kind of outside the world of horror, you still are familiar with Tales from the Crypt and the Crypt Keeper. That just goes to show how much, as a cultural icon, how much he transcends horror. I mean, he goes beyond horror and really, encompasses just entertainment in general.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Actually, I do remember that I saw like the old like Goosebumps show because I like read those books, and so I definitely saw like a few of those episodes, and I guess that was kind of like a kiddie version of Tales from the Crypt, like kind of
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like campy stuff, but yeah. So I
those,
like those.
Did you like the Goosebump movies or shows? I love those.
Yeah.
I used to watch those Goosebump shows, and when I was a kid, I was like in probably 4th, 5th, 6th grade watching those things, and I remember distinctly thinking, like, I could do this. I could be a kid actor. Like these, they weren't doing anything that was like remarkable. They just were a bunch of kids acting on screen, and you could see it. And I always used to like it for that. Godden, you watched Goosebumps, didn't you? Did you watch those?
I remember a couple episodes, but I didn't like finish a whole season, honestly. But yeah, it was enjoyable. It was fun.
Yeah, they are
Campy.
fun. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Daniel. Now that we know you a little better and know a little bit about your origin story, let's move on to the episode. Season 4, episode 14, season finale, Curiosity Killed. Let's go. So before we do get in, I want to let you know that we are not experts. We're just a group of friends who got together after having watched this episode just to express our thoughts on it. We don't have any authority over the show. We're probably going to miss some stuff. We're probably going to get some stuff wrong. That's where the comments come in, and that's where you come in. Go ahead and just comment anything that you see that you think we missed or anything that you think we got wrong. We don't take offense to any of it. Fill those comments up and let us know what you think. And spoiler warning, we are going to go into great detail on this episode as well as the spoilers and the twists. So if you don't want to have any of that spoiled on you, then go watch it on your own and then come back. In fact, it's on Shudder. Go watch it on Shudder.
Sponsored?
No, I wish. Hey, Shudder, if you're listening and you want to sponsor, if you don't think enough people subscribed to you after having had Tales from the Crypt on there, let us know and we'll be happy to sponsor. All right. So let us get into this episode by first reading the ancient text, inked in human blood, bound on human flesh, on the back of the DVD box set here. Curiosity killed. Come on, one sip won't kill you. Senior citizens try to convince another oldster to drink a youth potion.
Oh, that's it? That's the whole synopsis?
That's what I said.
Are they all like just
they're
one
all
and a half sentences?
They're all like 1.5 sentences. And I always thought they were way too short. So I come up with one on my own.
I guess that's what it is.
That's what it is. So here's what I came up with. Elderly couple, Jack and Cynthia, are 45 years into a bitter, miserable marriage and can barely spend a moment together without arguing, which makes their decision to go camping together especially strange. Before long, though, Jack's real reason for the trip becomes more clear. Hidden deep in the woods is something incredible that he is determined to keep secret from his wife. Cynthia, sensing Jack is up to something, follows him into the woods to see what he's hiding. Can she figure out what's going on, or will her curiosity get her killed? Oh. So that was my little synopsis. And so I think the intro is, or the date back of the DVD box set is too short. Godden thinks it's too long. So Godden challenges himself to come up with a synopsis that is shorter than the back of the DVD box set. Godden, what did you come up with?
How many words were in that sentence?
That tells me that Godden might have went over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Can you do it in 19 words or less?
Yeah. Mine's only 7. Thankfully, I thought it was. Mine's short and simple and sweet. It's mainly about Cynthia. But I would title this, or my synopsis would be Beauty in the Eye of the Beholder. Because that's kind of what she was doing.
Eye of the Beholder. Thanks. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Because you're right. This episode, all 4 of these characters, by the way, could be seen as beautiful, right? Depending on who they're talking to or who they're with or who sees them, right? Age doesn't matter.
It's toxic relationship. Yeah.
Age doesn't matter. You could be beautiful at any age.
True.
Not for her.
But not for her.
Not for her.
Not for her.
All right. So the Crypt Keeper intro, he falls from somewhere, the rooftop or somewhere. He just falls down, kerplunk on the ground. He says, "Geronimo, so glad you could stop in, kill seekers. Don't worry about me. It only hurts when I laugh." I love how he starts patting himself and then dust starts pluming out into the air too. He says, "Boy, that was good. It's even better than hang gliding. Of course, some folks would rather keep their feet on the terra firma, like the episode in tonight's Putrid Piece. Oh, like the people in tonight's Putrid Piece. They're spending a nice, quiet weekend in the woods, going hack to nature. I call this fetid fable curiosity killed." What do we think about the Crypt Keeper intro? I have a hard time relating it to the episode, other than the fact that he's like in like a forested area. The fact that he Geronimo's down onto the ground makes no sense to me. But
it's
just weird.
Just random.
A few episodes ago, I had said like I give up. I just give up on trying to relate what he's doing to the episode. He just does stuff. He just randomly does stuff, and we just happen to see him, and then he introduces the episode. Daniel, we'll start with you. What do you think about the Crypt Keeper intro?
Basically what he says. I mean, that just kind of seems like what he does. He just has a couple of dad jokes, and then that are, spooky related. And then he sort of like goes back into like a little synopsis of what's happening, or like an intro, which I guess is what he's doing, except, well, he says they're spending a nice, quiet weekend in the woods, but it seems like it was never nice or quiet.
You're right. He gets it all wrong except for the woods.
They're not even in the woods. They're in like the swamp.
It is a very swampy woods area, like a very southern Florida, swampy Louisiana bayou type
forest.
Could be
crocodiles out there.
Right?
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Godden, what do you think about the Crypt Keeper intro?
I thought it was really funny. I was not expecting him to do the whole Geronimo bit. I'm like, it's just getting more and more random. Like, at this point, I think he's just setting up his jokes just based on what he's just doing randomly, so he has more just fun with it, more puns.
Yeah.
But there was like no purpose of him jump. I would like to know more as to why.
I would like to know more.
Pushed off, he just jumped, but sure, he just landed, and I always love his alliterations. Honestly, I always keep an eye for those. So I'm glad that hasn't gone away yet, and I hope that never goes away.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he has good writers, and again, I don't know how much of it is written beforehand or how much of it is kind of ad-libbed by John Kassir, the voice actor. But I always like his what he says. Yeah, what he has to say is always pretty good. All right, well, that brings us now to the opening panel, and we've got there's that dead corpse, rotted to bone, with a bunch of flowers growing out of it. A couple of old men looking at that, and then behind them is that old woman watching from the bushes behind. And I think it's interesting that the flowers coming out of the bones here are like almost roses, like they're red, but in the episode they're like the big weird white flowers. Otherwise, I think that kind of more or less captures the point of the episode. Daniel, do you have any thoughts about the opening panel?
Yeah, I noticed. The coloring of the flowers is totally different, but it does capture like that scene pretty well, because like the two guys are being kind of like sneaky, and then like Cynthia is like spying on them from the bushes, and that's exactly what's happening. Like, I mean, and that's sort of what's going on with the title too. That's her curiosity, coming through.
God, did you have any thoughts about this opening panel?
Yeah, I think it's really pretty. It's more poignant, but like I like it. It's like one of the less violent ones or grotesque ones. It's just, I don't know. It's just more welcoming than the previous panels that are more violent. I like it.
It's not violent, but it is gross. So it is like horrific because of the fact that there's a skeleton there with a knife in it. But it's not like it's not violent.
Yeah.
Although maybe it was violent because there's a knife sticking out of her ribs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, he never says like it's like implied that the guy Harry like killed Emma, right?
Yeah, it is implied. He even says like I've never been so peaceful since that 6-inch blade or whatever he said. Like basically plunged it into her.
So it was a knife, not that knife, but
yeah, maybe not that knife. Oh, you know what though? The red flowers coming out does make it look like blood coming out of the corpse. I wonder if that's what they were going for. And if so, I wonder why the actual flowers weren't red then. They should have been.
I just wanted them to look more like supernatural or something. More like moon touched, Maybe
right.
In the moon.
Just put a bunch of crescents in there.
They should have been half moon shaped. Or crescent moon shaped. All right. Well, that brings us to the opening scene, which is basically we're in this camping site. There's an RV parked kind of off to the side. There's an old couple sitting by a campfire trying to enjoy dinner, it seems like. But they're just gawking at each other, not gawking. I don't know if that's the right word, but not even smoldering. What's the word? Glaring at each other.
Glaring.
Yeah, they're glaring at each other, and everything that whenever he does something, she seems annoyed, and whenever she does something, he seems annoyed, and they're kind of going back and forth. He takes a drink of some weird green liquid that finally grosses her out. She starts complaining, and he says, "Oh, great, another bitch fit." They go back and forth and back and forth. They start talking, yelling over each other. You can't even make out what they're saying. They're just yelling at each other. And, the biggest impression I had from this scene was the makeup effects. And I got to tell you, I was not impressed with the makeup in this episode. It was so just old person makeup looking. It didn't, I didn't like it that much. I think there's been other episodes in the past that has had much better makeup effects. I'm thinking of what was that one with Demi Moore? Remember his makeup effects, his prosthetics? I'm Varno, or what was his name? I'm something.
I'm Dead Right, right?
Dead Right, yeah. Dead Right? He was the big old fat man with the ugly, grotesque face. That looked great. That looked wonderful. If they had old people makeup like that, that would have been superb. But this makeup effects, I wasn't impressed by it.
It was so jarring that you just noticed it right away.
I noticed it right away. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they just looked kind of weird, but I didn't think in my head, oh, it's just old people makeup, fake makeup and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I guess I don't know. I was more noticing how I don't know, silly their fight was. It just meh. Oh, I have to drink, and she's complaining about all these random vegetables that she's eating. It was hold on, it was rutabaga, bok choy, tofu, celery juice, and daikon. I don't even know what daikon is.
Daikon. You know what daikon is?
Daikon.
Oh, daikon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Godden, would you drink any of those?
Drink? I mean, I'll eat it if it's in a stew, but I'm not gonna have it squeezed down. Honestly, I probably would drink if I didn't know. Honestly,
Let's be real here. Yeah, I probably would.
That might be good.
Throw some vodka in there. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Those green juices.
Just another V8 Fusion.
It's good if you add apple juice to it.
Oh yeah, apple juice will make anything good. Whenever I get those, you ever go to Juice Shack and get the grass shot?
Oh no.
You ever do that? The grass shot from
it smells good.
You ever do that, Godden?
No, I do the ginger ones.
Oh, the ginger shot. Does that burn, the ginger shot?
No, it's it's a tinge, but it's ginger, but it's not burning,
Oh, okay.
Pretty good. It's good for the gut.
So anyway, they're fighting back and forth, and we get the perspective from their neighbor, their quote unquote neighbors. It's an RV that's parked right next to their RV, and this is another old couple, and they are, the neighbors, Harry and Lucille are their names, and we get from their perspective, and basically, they talk a little bit, and Lucille basically asks Harry, "Oh, was Emma ever this bad?" And he said, "Oh no, she was never this bad." And then she said something like, "Oh, what did she say?" She said something along the lines of "Oh, do you remember what she said? I forget."
When they were talking, I don't think so.
She said something that alluded to the fact that they had quote unquote taken her out, or something like that. Was Emma ever this bad? Oh no, she was never this bad. And and she never will be, or so. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but she said something.
Yeah,
Along.
it was something
There's an
like
Emma in this picture too. Is kind of what they were getting at. There's also an Emma somewhere in this story. So, wink, wink. Remember that.
It didn't seem like Emma was like. It didn't seem it hadn't been that long since they sort of got rid of Emma. It didn't seem like.
Yeah, in the story, it's like I guess 3 or 6 months ago. One of those numbers rings a bell to me.
Yeah, that seems like
6 months, yeah.
6 months ago.
So he was like with Emma until 6 months ago, and then he met Lucille.
Yeah.
And then they're like, that's enough time for Lucille to share this like super mega secret fountain of youth thing with him.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought about that too. That's like how long do they know each other before then? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe he killed Emma 6 months ago, buried her, and then 3 months later, Lucille shows up and be like, "Oh, you have a dead body? Oh, well, I have this great opportunity for you." It could have been something like that. Who knows?
Maybe you're gonna admit to your new
A new
girlfriend that I killed my last
Oh
wife
my God! This
just 3 months ago.
story is so full of holes. Oh my gosh, I can't. I don't know. I can't make excuses for it. It's badly written, I guess. Godden, what do you think so far?
I like the bickering in the beginning. Because, yeah, it's just when they're like kind of staring at each other, like they're getting each other's nerves. Well, he was kind of getting on her nerves more so than she was getting on his, because he just ended up doing his own thing, and that really triggered her. And I thought it was funny during the argument, because he was saying, like, you knew we were going to come here. I told you we were going to go here. So for her to complain, like, oh, we should just go be, in a nice restaurant, fine dining, instead of eating, like, this compost food, like the bok choy and all the other vegetables. It's like, yeah, I don't know what she's so upset about. She knows they're going camping, and she hates camping, but she agreed somehow. Like, she was able to go with, and maybe he just wanted to go by himself, and then she just didn't want to be left alone or something like that. Like, or she'd just rather tag along than just be left alone, but she clearly can't handle him, or she can't be okay with him. Like, everything he does, it just annoys her, like, especially when he was gulping that drink. Like, that really set her off. That was really fun.
Yeah, it's they can't stand each other, and the fact that she agreed to go with him to this camping trip. She could have been like, "No, you go ahead, you go be with your friends. I'll stay back and hang out and do whatever." But the fact that she agreed to go with, like, maybe they're made for each other. They hate each other, and they just can't be apart at the same time.
They've been doing that for
Maybe.
45 years.
45 years.
Yeah, I mean, she could have just packed some cheese and crackers or something.
Right, I know.
I mean, she knew they were packing all these vegetables.
Hey, I don't mind some cheese and crackers, though. I will go down on some cheese and crackers.
I mean, if they have vodka
Maybe.
stored in their thing, then surely they have something besides vegetables, just like in there, right?
That's right. I wonder why she
They
wasn't
probably
going for the
ate it.
vodka.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
So these neighbors, Harry and Lucille, they go outside to kind of, I think, like make peace in some way. They go outside and just kind of, I guess, just try to intervene in some way. But Lucille ends up stirring that pot of some weird mixture, some sort of concoction. So that's kind of alluding to there's something going on with whatever they're cooking up there. So, but they keep bickering back and forth. And he says, what's his name? Not Harry. Jack? Wait, which
Jack.
one's the main character? Jack?
Cynthia and Jack.
Jack.
and Cynthia.
So Jack says something along the lines of, you're going to kill me or something like that. And Cynthia says, if I was going to kill you, I would do it little by little. First, I'd cut off your dick. You haven't used that thing for
said
20
head.
years.
That was definitely an escalation.
That was definitely
I thought you said head.
uncalled for.
Was
Yeah,
it
and
dick?
even
I thought you said head.
Yeah, and then the music just like stops and it goes like all quiet
for a
to
long
build
time.
the tension.
For a long time, yeah. Kind of to let that last comment really sink in. Jack gets up slowly. He walks to the RV. He gets ready to go inside, and he says, "No, I haven't. Have I?" And he goes inside. And when he's inside his RV, that's where he tries to get into the vodka. But Harry comes in and stops him and says, "No, don't drink. You can't have any drink tonight, because if you drink, you'll ruin everything tonight. You'll make everything basically worse." So something's going on, and they can't have alcohol. And when this happened the first time I was watching it through, I thought, oh, maybe he's a recovering alcoholic. I didn't think that it had anything to do with some sort of voodoo magic thing going on. Oh, and by the way, I do want to say, because of the fact everybody they hired, all the actors here, are younger than what they're portraying, and it's so clearly makeup, I got the vibes right away that this was probably going to be some sort of a Fountain of Youth episode. I definitely got those vibes very early on, so I was kind of expecting it, but even still, I didn't think that the vodka fit in that way. I really felt the way they set it up, that the vodka was to foreshadow him being an alcoholic, and I thought, well, then why the hell is it in the RV? Why did he bring the vodka if he's an alcoholic? Like he should, anyway. Daniel, what do you think so far?
Yeah, it was kind of like unclear what he was going to do. He's like, I'm going to end it all as he pulls out the vodka. And like, I mean, is he just going to like drink himself to death right then and there? Like, it's like, well, he had all these plans for the weekend and he's just going to like, I don't know, like, hello? I don't know.
Godden, how about you?
Yeah, it was interesting what's happening so far because it seemed like Harry and Lucille were just gonna go by themselves and then kind of perform this ritual. Because I think Lucille asked about like why he brought Jack, because they clearly don't want to deal with Cynthia because she just just upset about everything and she's just making a ruckus. And then I guess they were just war buddies realistically, and maybe if they go back to their youth. Yeah. They go back to their youth, they can live a better life with all the experience they had, and just be young again. And just probably, I don't know what they would do. I assume make money, but.
Godden, I'm glad that you brought that up because I forgot about that. Back when we first met Lucille and Harry, they were talking, and Harry basically said, I had to bring Jack. He saved my life back in Nam, or some war. I think it was Vietnam. But so basically, he's a war hero. Jack is, and he saved his life. So he had to pay it forward some way. So he wants to make sure that he's in the loop on this whole endeavor. So yeah, I forgot about that part. I'm glad that you mentioned that. So while they're having this conversation inside with the vodka, what's her face is listening from outside. Cynthia. And so she knows that something's up with the vodka. And, the boys were also talking about last time they were out in the woods, Emma, quote unquote, got lost and never came back.
Right.
And he's willing.
That's what Harry was saying.
Yeah. And he's willing to wink, whatever happens tonight is going to happen. And so Cynthia, of course, thinks, oh my gosh, there's something up with the vodka. But also they're going to they're up to something. So they
might get rid of me.
Right. So she kind of gets all, nervous. So that's where the men get out and they kind of go off into the woods and they go to do something, quote unquote, something. But back at camp, it's just the women now and they're kind of talking back and forth. And that's where Cynthia tries to confide in Lucille about, these men are up to something, they're doing something, and she's kind of getting worked up still. And I love what Lucille says. Says here, she says, men make a living. Women should make life worth living. In other words, like you're not helpful here, right? You're making life miserable for the man who's making life, right? Who's making a living. You're making his living terrible. Mm-hmm. And she says that you've only known me for 6 months or something like that. So right. I guess you're right. I guess so Cynthia
only been in the picture these last 6 months.
Yeah, or so, right? So I like that moment, by the way, because it does portray that it's Cynthia who is the problem. Because to be honest with you, the way it started, it is a little unclear that Cynthia is the loose cannon of the relationship. Because when I was watching it the first time through, when they were both eating and then they started fighting, they were both yelling at each other. So I just thought they both hate each other. And they do, but it really is boiled down to Cynthia just being so miserably unhappy and just taking out her anger on him in such a terrible and abusive way. So after this conversation between the two women, Cynthia walks off. She waddles off, by the way. Her acting of an old lady is just horrendous in this episode. She's just really overacting.
No, it's perfect.
It's perfect. She's not only playing old. I feel like she's playing an old fat lady. And she's not. This is Margot Kidder, by the way. Margot Kidder is this actress, and she's Lois Lane. She was Lois Lane back in the Superman days. So she waddles her way off into the woods to watch the men what they're digging up. And this is where you kind of get the reveal, part of the reveal on what's going on. So this is where you get the, it comes full circle with this whole quote unquote Emma character. So the men are out there digging up a hole and they dig up the bones, the remains of Emma. And this is where you find, and he says, oh yeah, I've been getting something along the lines of, it's been really peaceful here with that, after that 6-inch blade or something like that. Like he stuck her with a knife, killed her, and buried her out here in the woods. That's where Cynthia finds out that, oh my gosh, they're murderers. So she, of course, runs back to camp to hysterically yell at Lucille. Before I get too far, though, I just want to stop and check in. What do you think so far? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he like once they dig her up, like it's basically revealed that Harry did like kill Emma, and Jack is sort of like, he's like, whoa, you actually like killed her? Like he's sort of like very hesitant about the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right. Even Jack didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
fully.
Then he's like, and then Harry's like, okay, you in or out? Like, you have to decide now. And he's like, okay, I'll be in. But like, yeah, he's very like hesitant about the whole thing. Like at that point, and he kind of just like goes along with it. It seems like because he has no other choice at that point. But then just like a minute later, as they go back to camp, now suddenly Harry is like, or Jack is like all super happy, and he's like 100% into it, and he sort of just like flips. And that's when he starts doing his little song and everything.
Right. Godden, what do you think so far?
That was really funny. With two scenes, and because when you find out that they were digging up the body, and there were like these little bulbs on there, like these little flowers. I'm not sure if I'm getting a little ahead of myself, because right after that, or during that scene, they pretty much justify that they killed Emma because they needed fertilizer for the flowers. Which I thought was really funny. Like, was that the reason why they killed Emma, or was it just because she didn't want to take part of it? That's like, well, either way, they found a reason to, regrow those incredible flowers. And yeah, like you mentioned, it was funny that Jack was hesitant at first, but then when Harry said, "Well, what do you got to lose? Like, don't you want to be young again?" He's like, "Well, I guess you're right. I mean, well, what could be better than that?" And yeah, he was just all for it, doing the gooly gooly ghoul.
I wonder if Jack knew that there was something going on with some sort of elixir and some sort of young potion. But I wonder if the killing of the Emma was what he learned. So I wonder if maybe he knew a piece of the story, but not the whole story. Because he did seem like he was being awfully quiet about something a while ago, right? And even when, back to the vodka, when he says, don't drink this vodka, it'll ruin our plans for tonight. Or it'll ruin everything tonight. Like, so I wonder if he knew, like, oh, I'm going to be drinking this potion, and my friends tell me it's going to make me young again. I just, like, maybe he just didn't know, oh, they also killed Emma from 6 months ago. So
yeah, that's kind of what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. So, so they take the bones out. The bones, not the bones, but the whatever plant they have planted inside the bones needs moonlight to grow. So they take it out, they put it up, and you start to see the vines growing out of the skull of Emma. So back at camp, Cynthia is hysterical, and she's just running back and forth, shouting, right? They killed, and she calls them ghouls. She calls them ghouls, which might be the most important line of the entire episode, because from then on out, Jack and Harry take it upon themselves to start singing the ghouly ghouly song. So whenever you see them, they're just always ghouly ghouly ghouly. Like, it's just such a weird thing to happen in this episode, but they really commit to it, though.
Yeah.
Everybody, the actors, the writers, everybody, because they just really dive in. She even like hides in the RV to try to get away from him. She locks him out. And she doesn't have the key, so she can't start to run away or to drive away. But she looks out, and he's out there just dancing the ghouly ghouly dance. And I don't know what else to add to that. It's just such a weird thing.
Yeah. I mean, agree with how just sort of like silly the whole ghouly ghouly thing was. And then I also noticed, like, at that point when they like they dig up Emma and then they come back to the campsite. Like, they show like the dog again, and they've shown the dog like every like 3 minutes, like barking its head off. But then when they get back to the campsite, the dog like really seems like angry now. It's like a step up in like the barking even. It's like wow, the dog like actually wants to like attack them now. It seems like at this point, this is like halfway through the episode.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the dog because I completely forgot about the dog. There's been a dog in the entire episode so far, and every time they film the dog, it's just growling and snarling and barking. It's very unhappy, and what made me most unhappy was the fact that first of all, they powdered the dog's face to make it look old. The entire body of the dog is a very healthy, robust, dark-haired dog, but then the face is just so overly white. They've clearly powdered the face to make it look white. They even pinned its jowls up over its teeth to make it look like it was growling, which I just kept feeling sorry for the poor dog. So PETA definitely wasn't involved in this episode. But yeah, they're trying to set up the fact that this dog is very angry.
Yeah,
but
it is their dog that they've had for a long time.
It is. It's a very strange dynamic with the dog, and the fact that the finale of the episode hinges on this dog. I wish they would have. I'll talk more later after the finale, but I don't think they set up the finale as well as they could have. Godden, what do you think about the dog that we left out altogether, and then also the introduction of the Ghoulie song?
Well, with the dog specifically, it clearly does not like Cynthia for who knows why. Maybe, she's just an abusive. Because at one point, she said, "Oh, I should have put both of you down," to her and Jack. So she's not even happy with the dog. So maybe she's just not a good owner, realistically, and Jack's the only sole owner of the dog. So I don't understand why I kept growling at her, but obviously towards the end, it kind of like made sense. Like, oh well. I guess that's why, and that's even more aggressive. So it took him out of its own hands. But I love the Ghoulie Ghoulie song. Like it does seem kind of out of nowhere, but it just shows like how invested Jack is about this whole like fountain of youth. I'm not sure if he knows like that's how it works. He's just like kind of part of this. he's not really too sure what. Like he doesn't know what the result's gonna be. It seems like he wasn't too sure towards the end until like Lucille started explaining how it worked. But beforehand, it looks like he's like, I don't know. And then after Harry's like, no, you should do it. It's worth it. He's like, okay, Ghoulie Ghoulie Ghoulie, Ghoulie Ghoulie Ghoulie. Like, okay.
Ghoulie Ghoulie. All right. Well, so she's locked up in the RV.
Right. She's like hiding from them.
She's hiding from them. But later on that night, she sees that all three of them. I think she sees two of them. I think she sees the two men walk back into the forest. So she follows them. They already killed Emma. She knows this. She's locked in the RV, and when they disappear back into the woods, for some reason she follows them. This woman is crazy. So she follows them in. She sees them digging up this body again. No. At this point, they have the giant flowers, and that's where Lucille comes in and also joins the party and says, this is basically where the whole plot gets unfolded. You learn that.
Before this, they had while she was like locked up, she heard the screams of Lucille and Harry, right? Because they took the first dose of the potion, and then they and so she's like thinking like they're like, I don't know, someone's being attacked or something because she's seeing like hearing the screams. And stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah, there was some screaming from the other RV. But to me, it didn't seem clear that it was Lucille screaming. And that's what they try to make it seem like later. Like she thought they killed Lucille.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There was screaming from the other RV. I guess you could come to that conclusion. It's not the conclusion I came to. It had to be told to me. That's what she thought. So, at this burial site now, that's where they reveal the whole plot. There's from the corpse of another body grows these flowers that bloom under moonlight in this particular soil. And if you drink the juice, the nectar from this plant, along with this concoction that they were cooking at the campsite, you become young. And that's basically the plot. That's basically what they were up to. They tell Cynthia this, and then suddenly everything's like, oh wow, that's really how it works, and oh my gosh, this is so cool, and everybody's so happy. And then suddenly Jack is like, yeah, but you're not going to have any because I'm sick and tired of you, and I'm not going to do it all over again. So I'm going to sit here and watch you wither away. Like, it was such a bizarre twist. I don't know why he just didn't let her come along for the ride. I don't know why he didn't tell her to begin with. All of the above is just so very strange to me. She runs off, and they allow her to run off, even though they know that she knows the plot and she knows about that concoction. She could just dump the whole concoction out, and they have to start from square one.
Well, yeah, she could at least just throw it on the floor.
She could have done a lot of things that they don't know, and they just kind of let her go do her thing. So she runs back to the campsite. She steals some of the concoction for herself, and then she replaces what she stole with a bunch of vodka, because she knows that vodka is going to mess it up because of what he eavesdropped on earlier. So they all come back. She's hiding in the RV at this point. They all come back, and they just start drinking it with the nectar, and then that's where she comes out, Cynthia, and basically watches them just, writhe in pain from drinking this concoction that's mixed with vodka. She even tells them, I hope it hurts worse than it looks, because they're just like in agony in the most comic booky Tales from the Crypt way. They're just in so much agony. Oh, kind of a thing. They wither away, turn into skeletons, and then fall over dead, and then break into a bunch of pieces. And before I get to the final part of the finale, I went through kind of a few beats of the episode. What do you think so far? Daniel, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I basically thought what you said. Yeah, when they have that big sort of reveal, everything is like, seems like it's going to be great. They're all going to be like friends again. And then he's like, psych. And then he like rips up her flower, which I don't know. I don't know if ripping up the flower would even matter. Like, if it's just putting a little drop of it into the pot. But anyway, he like rips up the flower that was going to be for her, I guess. So it does seem like they kind of planned to have her take part in the thing originally. It's not fully clear if they did.
Yeah, they had one. They said they had one flower for each of them.
Yeah,
there's 4 flowers.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, well, if you're planning on doing that, why not just sort of like tell her what was going on in the first place? That would have avoided a lot of issues.
Yeah, you could have made the first half of the entire trip pleasurable, right? Having something to look forward to and everybody be happy. Then become young and remain being like, they could have had a whole happy trip, but instead Jack chose to be miserable throughout the entire trip by leaving his wife out of all of the planning. It was just you could tell that it was written to be a mystery rather than make sense.
Well,
they didn't really care about that part. Godden, what do you think about this so far?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand why they need exactly 4 flowers, because I feel like each of those flowers they could have just divvied it up and have the exact. I don't know. Maybe it's just like just to show that each flower is just for a person, because clearly they'd have to drink that much, and for some reason there's 2 different doses you have to drink.
Yeah,
which I was a little
like
confused
more
on.
relevant, but then.
Oh, right. That was a little vague, wasn't it? You had to drink some of it first and then drink a little bit later, because 2 of them already drank it, right? Or did all 3 of them already drink it? All 3 of them were younger, right?
Oh, maybe it was all 3 of them. I kind of assumed that like the dose thing would be what gets Cynthia at the end. Like it was going to be like the twist was going to be like she forgets about the second dose, and then that causes her to like get messed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I assumed when they mentioned, oh, the second dose is very important. But
yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like it mattered. Like it's just kind of like, oh, you need 2 doses, but it's like that doesn't really.
Yeah, I guess it was just to show
the story.
That like, they could do one to show that it existed and that it worked, but then they needed the second dose so that it could be poisoned.
Oh,
I guess just like a way to like show Cynthia that it existed, and then an opportunity for Cynthia to mess it up.
Yeah, and when we get to the twist, I want to talk about some other options that I feel like might have been a different, maybe even better twist, or one that I would have felt more satisfied with, but we'll get there when we get there. So, okay. So Cynthia killed the rest of them by mixing it up with vodka and letting them drink it and then watching them wither away and die. Then she drinks the liquid, spills some of it onto the ground. The dog drinks it up. She becomes young again in some amazing special effects. Basically,
Amazing
Margot
special
Kidder in
effects.
old costume, and then it would just kind of fade into Margot Kidder with no costume. Special effects, riveting special effects for back in 1991. So, once she becomes younger, the dog, because it also drank some of the potion, became younger as well. And that's where the dog, since the dog is younger, it's much stronger and is able to break away from its chain and eat her. So the dog actually attacks her and eats her. And then the very next scene is this other couple stumbling upon this campsite. And they see a tiny little cute puppy chewing a giant bone. And then the camera pans over and you see Cynthia's just body completely eaten by this dog. And this dog twist, right? The whole twist hinges on this dog being able to break away from the chain. And I just feel like there wasn't enough oomph so far in the story for this to happen. Sure, the dog was there and the dog was growling at them, but I wish there was more interaction between Cynthia and the dog to show the real reason for the hatred. Like maybe she did take the food away from the dog, or maybe she tried to kick the dog, or maybe she was throwing things at the dog. The dog was just barking at them, and you're supposed to get the sense that okay, the dog's unhappy, but you don't really see that the cause of the dog's unhappiness is from Cynthia. That's what kind of was confusing to me. Even if she had made a comment like, "Oh, you old dog, you're not even strong enough to get off that chain," like or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wasn't super happy with the way the dog was kind of the crux of the whole demise of Cynthia. I wish she had drank too much and then maybe she became a baby. You know what I mean? Like she was just kind of lost out in the woods as a little baby or something like that. I don't know. What did you think about the finale and the twist?
Yeah, I mean, also agree with you. Like, maybe the dog was just so pissed off that it only had rutabaga and like tofu and celery juice to eat or something. Like, but yeah, it's like, well, if the dog is like rips her to shreds and eats her here, like, I mean, but it hadn't done that before, so when they're at home or previously, so why does the dog really hate them like right at this moment so much? Yeah, but they didn't really show anything. Like they never interact with the dog at all.
Right.
There's never any interaction.
And that's a good point. The dog, I'm sure the dog drove with them in the RV and it didn't attack her and eat her. And the dog was probably not on a chain at home. Like it doesn't make any sense that during this camping trip, suddenly it would want to attack and eat her. So that's kind of bizarre. Godden, how about you? What are your thoughts on the finale and the ending?
I thought it was funny that she spiked the whole cauldron, like just to. I mean, I guess she didn't know what was gonna happen, but she just wanted to ruin their plans. I did like the whole special effects of them dying because towards the end they just like flop over like just a bundle of sticks. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that was.
But
good.
then. But yeah, but when she like transforms into the young version of her after drinking it, I thought they could have done better realistically because they look like they put more of their money onto their death scene than her transformation. But I felt like they could just even it out. But yeah, it was odd that the dog was able to get a little bit of that juice, and the way I thought about it was because the dog didn't like her as much. Then now that she was younger, the dog really doesn't recognize her at all. Made him more aggressive and territorial. I guess he's just somehow strong enough to like fly at her. So I kind of like that moment that she died like that. But I don't know. The story is a little lacking. There are some things that didn't need to be like said or had to exist. I wish there was more gooly gooly. Like chanting, honestly, that would have been a more fun moment.
You know what? We need more gooly gooly. That's what we need.
She should have sang gooly gooly as they withered and died.
She should have sang that to them. Gooly gooly.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's what we needed.
We need more gooly gooly. That reminds me of that.
We
need more cowbell.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to the Crypt Keeper outro. Crypt Keeper is planting seeds in the mouth of a skull, which makes a lot more sense to the episode, right? He says, that Cynthia is a real shrieking violet, wouldn't you say? A regular afterlife of the party. Didn't know I was a Boar Scout, did you? Well, I am. My horticulture Scarret badge requires me to plant crocuses. A shame, really. I'd much rather plant hybrids. These puns are terrible. These are some bad puns in this particular episode. I like horticulture. That wasn't bad, but hybrids, that's a bit of a stretch. Okay, so the episode as a whole, I think this is a decent episode for like the middle of the season. If we're just in the middle of the season and we're kind of coasting by, this is a fine episode. It would get me by. I wouldn't complain. But the fact that this is a season finale absolutely blows my mind. You mentioned those effects of Cynthia just being like a morph, and how you weren't impressed. I wasn't impressed either. And we just had an episode with a fantastic morph. Remember the werewolf episode?
That was really good.
When what's his name transformed into the werewolf, it looked fantastic. Had some fantastic effects. This episode's effects were just horrendous. The makeup effects were not good. It was just so subpar for a Tales from the Crypt episode. And like if it was in the middle of the season, it would all be stuff like, oh, whatever, who cares? We still have more to come. It's fine. But the fact that this really is it is upsetting to me. It's not. I don't find it a very strong season finale. Now, you didn't choose what episode you'd be part of. You just happened to be available, and I'm so glad you are. But what do you think about the episode as a whole?
I thought it was entertaining. Like, I kind of liked that it had it wasn't really about any like creatures or monsters really, but it was just kind of like normal people that have like a little extra magic something.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. It seemed like it was like it made it more like, I guess, like feasible, like realistic, like something that could like maybe happen, because it was more about like the whole idea of like the potion and the plants was sort of based off, I guess, like it was supposed to be like, you know, like Jamaican like folk magic, like that kind of thing. So it did make it sort of like more from like I don't know, grounded mythology instead of just like, oh, there's like a werewolf.
Yeah, I do like that like the mechanics of it. Like, this is how you make a potion. This is how you actually concoct a potion. Because there's been other episodes in Tales from the Crypt where they used potion for things, like a love potion or a youth potion, very similar to this one. So so this is kind of like seeing like how that's all made. So I do like that part of it. It is very grounded, and you know, yeah, like you have to plant these plants in a body to grow from the body and then bloom in moonlight. Like that's because it's like a recipe. Like it's very, yeah, the way it's put together. I do like that part of it. That is nice to it. Godden, what do you think about the episode?
I think I had a higher score in my head initially, but after watching and reviewing it, you know, it's okay. You know, I wouldn't say it's a strong and decent episode. I think there are some issues it had, especially with makeup, with some of the writing, because, like I said, there's a lot of things that could just change it or left out that wouldn't have impacted it in the first place. But I also had no clue where the story was going when I first watched it. I thought, I mean, I knew that they were going to kill each other in some way because they were just bickering over and over again. So I was kind of looking for something along those lines. But yeah, I did not see the Fountain of Youth trope coming in at all. And I don't know, I felt like they could have done a stereotypical slasher, you know, out in the woods kind of episode here, but they didn't go that route. I was kind of hoping for that. Where maybe it's a young person killing the old people who are
like that.
having sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good idea. That makes me think, like, because I do want to talk about some other ways this episode could have gone. Because while it was going, I did get the sense it was going to be some sort of a Fountain of Youth episode. I definitely got that sense. So I was thinking maybe they can drink too much and they can grow super young and get lost and can't fend for themselves. That might have been an interesting angle. Or maybe somebody kills somebody else, but then they end up maybe spilling the potion on them and they get rejuvenated and come back to life. And they said, no, he was my killer. And then it turns into like, oh, right. Like he was trying to cover up his murder, but then he gets outed. Like there were other routes they could have gone, much more interesting routes they could have gone. And I feel like the route they did go was just kind of, it seemed like they were trying to force an ending that they weren't really building up towards. So it was not very satisfying by the time we got to the very end. Did you see anywhere else this episode could go or a different direction they could have taken it?
I mean, yeah, that could have been cool if, it was more about like the drama between them or like messing up the recipe in like some other way that sort of like prolonged the issue. Whereas the dog thing was for kind of like abrupt. Whereas, the dog just happened to get some potion.
Right.
And then suddenly can break off the chain.
Or what if they spilled the potion on Emma? The bones, and then she rejuvenated, and then she was like, "You killed me," and then that turns into a whole.
That could have been like an interesting thing, or at least like made her like a zombie or something.
Right?
Maybe it didn't like fully bring her back to life, but it did like something.
Right? Yeah.
Something like that.
Godden, did you have any other thoughts of different directions this episode could have gone?
No, not really from the ones I've mentioned. But yeah, I think they've done a better job for sure. Like there's just definitely something. There's a lot they can do, but that's just what they want to do with the Fountain of Youth kind of idea. I'm not against it, but they definitely could have done something.
No. Yeah, all the pieces don't quite fit together. Altogether, it's a good episode. It's just I think the issues with the episode are much more glaring because of the fact that it's the season finale. Kind of like how the season premiere. Oftentimes the season premiere will be an okay episode, but the fact that it's the season premiere, I feel like I'm holding a much bigger magnifying glass to it. So and maybe it's my own expectations for are much higher than I think would normally be in a normal episode. So let's do scores on this episode. Does anybody have any idea on an absolute score that they want to commit to? Anybody want to go first? All right, I'll go first. I'll give this episode.
I cut out.
I'll give this episode 2.75. Not quite a 3, but it's still going to be in the 2s. 2.75 Ghoulie Ghoulie Ghoulies.
Why Ghoulie Ghoulies?
Because that was a song in the episode. it was a song. Ghoulie Ghoulie Ghoulie. 2.75 of those. Daniel, you want to go next?
That's
out of 5.
That's definitely what I would use, is based it off of how many ghoulies there were.
Oh,
I feel like there were maybe 4 or 5 ghoulies. So I would just say 4 out of 5 ghoulies.
Okay, is that you're giving it?
There could have been more ghoulies, but the ghoulies were definitely the best part.
You're gonna give this a 4 out of 5?
Yeah. If she had sang the ghoulie song as they all withered away and died, then it would have gone up to 5 out of 5 ghoulies.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen very many Tales of the Crypt, but
That's
it was entertaining.
Hey, by the way, if you want to watch some episodes on your own from season 5 and just you want to shoot me a text or call me or something like that and let me know that you want to be part of a particular episode.
Oh yeah.
I don't mind having you hand pick an episode too if you want to do that.
Maybe that would be good.
John, one of our other guest hosts, he handpicked his episode. So he, of course, picks 5s all the time, right? He just picks bangers. That's what he basically calls and says, hey, I want to be part of this episode. Godden, what are you thinking?
Me? I'm trying to think of my little token I'm going to use because I actually didn't think of that yet.
Oh.
I feel like there's a lot of items there that could be used. Actually, yeah, I think I got it. I'll give it a 2.9 compost waste because she was really upset about the compost. So
2.9.
I'll give it that.
All right, 2.75, a 2.9, and a 4 for an average of less than 4, but more than 2.75, somewhere in the neighborhood. Okay.
Somewhere like low 3s.
Somewhere around there. Okay. All right. Well. That brings us to Horrorspondence. So the last episode to air while we're recording this episode was Strung Along. So we have some comments from Strung Along. This is the one about that marionette who, quote unquote, maybe comes to life at the end, but we're not quite sure. Anyway. So Iron Sabbath comes through. Iron Sabbath gives this episode 3 out of 5 puppets. He says, this is a fine episode. I enjoy it up until the end where it's left very confusing. I kind of get what they were going for with Coco potentially being part of Joseph's psyche, but I don't know. At least this had some great kills and blood towards the end. Saves it a little, even though it's frustrating. It's a frustrating episode all around. Yeah, kind of. The ending made it frustrating. Joseph Hill comes through. He gives it 3 Lifetime Achievement Awards out of 5. He says, overall, the episode's not bad. I like the cast and the acting and the directing seemed fine. The plot is just all over the place. And there's a lot of inconsistencies. Yeah, we talked about that too when we were doing our review. There were a lot of different directions they could have gone, but it seems like they couldn't pick a lane. Some alternate endings could have been that Coco is real and kills the wife. Or he convinces Joseph to do it, and David is caught in the middle. I kind of like that. He has to decide if he wants to turn Joseph in or help him dispose of the body so he can continue to be mentored for his career. I love that idea where he is kind of forced to go along with it just because he wants to be with his mentor. I like that idea a lot. He says, despite the gripes, I do like the episode. There's an unsettling creepiness when you hear Coco communicating with Joseph. I agree with that because all of the Coco dialogue is so dark. TheJimiRyan comes through, also known as TheJimiRyan. He says, I like this episode a lot. It kept me second guessing who had the ulterior motive, and I was genuinely surprised to see that they were both in on it. However, how they watched him die was so cold and evil. Yeah, that part stuck with me when they were watching him as he was dying and they were talking to him. That part was really haunting. Very well done. Though the ending just didn't fit. Even though it would have been a kind of typical, I would have rather had the puppet come to life and kill off the pair. 4 stabbing puppets. And we also have a first-time commenter, which I love sharing our first-time commenters. So Chinasaur Show. Chinasaur Show comes through and says, hey guys, I just started listening to your podcast. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you also commenting that letting us know that you just joined us. He says, I'm still getting caught up. He's currently on season 2. So yeah, keep making your way through those episodes. Don't you comment on any of those old episodes too, because we get notifications when we get a comment on any episode. So even if it's an older episode, comment and let us know what you think of it. Even though, it might be a little bit too late in terms of being, current, it's still fun. It's still fun. So yeah, definitely comment even if it's on the older episodes. All right. With that, if you're still listening at this point in the podcast, we want you to comment below. What do we want them to comment below? What do you think would be a good thing to comment down below if they're still listening?
I mean, I would like to hear some more like alternate ending ideas. I mean, some people commented that from the previous episode, right. And that was good. And I liked your alternate ending ideas. So
yeah, that's a great idea.
More good ones.
Yeah, if you're still listening, comment down below an ending that you think might be better or more satisfying than the one that we got. Yeah, we already kind of shared our ideas. So yeah, there you have it. If you have any more ideas, let us know, and you'll respond. Yeah,
me?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Just hit reply in the comment section and then respond and be like, "Hey, Daniel here. Thanks."
I will.
All right. And shout outs. We also want to shine the light back out on the horror community. If you enjoy this podcast, if you enjoy Tales from the Crypt and talking about things in horror, there are plenty of other podcasts and shows out there that we also enjoy. And if we enjoy it, odds are you might enjoy it. So check out the description down below. I have linked lots of different podcasts and shows that you can check out. There's Creeps of the Crypt. One of my favorites, Haddonfield Radio. There's Return, Revenge, Resurrection, Midnight Rental. There's all kinds of things down there. Just peruse down, see what you like. Check things out. If you end up clicking on the link and going somewhere else and enjoying what you find, let them know that that Cryptique sent you, just so we can kind of get some back and forth going on. That'd be a lot of fun. And of course, there is the Cryptique podcast. My name's Kenny, and there more of me can be found at 2 Bad About Kenny. That's with the number 2 as well as TOO Bad About Kenny. I can be found on YouTube and on Twitch. On YouTube, I'm reviewing movies and books. On Twitch, I'm playing games. Godden, how about you?
Well, they might be able to find me streaming on Twitch on UAPPO6, and they can find us at our Twitter at Creepteakers.
Thank you. Can they find you anywhere online?
Yeah, Danny.
Not really.
Daniel.
Not really.
Not everybody has
find
a
Daniel.
social media footprint.
Yeah.
You know, some of us are just so eager to be noticed. Others just whatever. All right. Well, with that out of the way, we hope that you had a great time, kiddies. And remember, wherever you may go, whatever you may seek, we'll all get together same time next week. And that will be for the season 4 ranking. We're going to go through all of the episodes of season 4 and rank them. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. Make sure that you, by the time this goes live, I'll have something on YouTube. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I'm going to basically be a questionnaire or a poll question in some way. I want you to respond with your favorite episode, basically your honorary 6 from season 4, and your worst episode from season 4. Let us know both, and then any other information that you think might be interesting for the season finale for our ranking. Until then, we here at the Cryptique Podcast wish you all sweet nightmares. Ooh.
Well, how was that for a scream, boys and ghouls?